Hello, Kim.
Hi, Judy.
Hi. I have with me today the pleasure of meeting with Kim Adams of the Willow Salon in Dundas. So thanks for joining me, Kim. It took a little while to get here, but here we are indeed.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. So tell us a little bit about your background and what got you started in the hair business.
Yeah, I guess I played with dolls and Barbies and stuff, not so much to play house, but to do their hair.
Okay.
And that just morphed into doing my friend's hair. And I've just always been fascinated with that sort of thing. So it just seemed natural for me to want to go into hair school. And here we are. I've been cutting hair for 24 years now.
Is that right? Are you from around here?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Hamilton.
In Hamilton, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, you were on Foundry Street, right next to the post office to begin with.
Yeah.
The little shop there at the side.
Yeah, so I started Willow 15 years ago now. We actually celebrated the 15th anniversary during COVID closure,
Yeah.
which felt so anticlimactic. But when I first opened up the salon, it was in a much smaller location just around the corner on Foundry.
Yeah.
But it was a great place to get started. There was two of us, and we grew from there. Here we are.
Here we are. I get it.
Here. That's a knee slapper.
Isn't it just? You know that building that you're in was part of was it the Central Hotel?
It says the music hall up top.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because I grew up on the mountains, so I've really only gotten to know Dundas in the last 15 years. So I don't know a ton of the history, but clients have been telling us. So that's been nice.
Of what used to be there.
Yeah.
And so how did you get the name Willow?
Sounds a little cheesy, but it means something to me. I just love willow trees, and the thought of just sitting underneath one on a spring or summer morning with a soft breeze, just making those branches sway a little bit, just feels like a really relaxing environment.
Yeah.
And that's the vibe and the environment that I wanted at the salon to feel like, just a really cool place to come and hang out and take a load off for a little while.
Yeah, and that it sure is. That's a nice sounding word as well, Willow, isn't it? It sounds lovely.
I think so, yeah.
And I know you got, well, it was the last time I was there before COVID, of course. It was very inviting, and you just got it all set up so beautifully, and it is a place you want to come and spend some time.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really cool. Where did you go to school for your?
There was a hair school downtown Hamilton on the corner of, hang on a second, Main and James, called the Alexandrian Institute. Mm-hmm. So I studied aesthetics there as well. I got my certification for that, but jumped right into hair, and I've just been doing hair ever since.
Yeah. And did you sort of early on think that you'd like to own the salon?
My mom would tell you yes, but I don't think it was my plan. I just wanted to be on the floor cutting hair, doing things that I saw in magazines and so on and so forth. So I don't know that was my original plan, but again, here we are.
Yeah, exactly right. And I know there was a period of time when you stopped. You were still on the store, because I was going to you for a long time when you first started, and then I thought, where'd you go? And there was a reason for it, but then you're back again.
So I had hip surgery a little over 5 years ago, and the recovery from that, because it wasn't a replacement, the recovery was quite long. Because I stand for a living, the recovery required me to not weight bear. So what happened was, it was getting close to my time to return to the salon, and I just don't think mentally and physically I was ready. And I tend to be, not always in a good way, an all or nothing type person. So the thought of going back to work really freaked me out. And I said, okay, that's it. I have to retire. I think in hindsight, and I learned from this, I maybe should have just extended my sick leave a couple more months and thought it through, because, once I was fully recovered, I missed this salon and my clients and the team that I work with more than anything.
Yeah, well, that's all part of the fun, is the team, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
You had working there and still work there after a long time are lovely.
Great group. I'm very, very lucky. Yeah.
And I've tried many products. Of course, a lot of people have, and I really do like the Aveda products the best. You just can't beat them.
Yeah, and it creates a healthy environment to work in too, because everything's natural and it smells wonderful. So yeah, it just makes sense to me.
Did you have special training for that, or how do you get involved with the Aveda line?
So I was introduced to Aveda by one of the first people I ever worked for. I completed my apprenticeship for a man named Vince, who used to own it was called Nicholas Vincent at the time. They since regrouped and rebranded and moved their location as well. And they're known as Pure NB. They don't own anymore, but he was a wonderful man, and that salon is a wonderful man. That salon carried Aveda products. So that's when I was introduced to Aveda, and just the smell walking into the salon was just overwhelming. Yeah. And I used to dust the shelves when things were quiet and read all of the labels on the back. There's quite a lot of product knowledge you need. But when you're working with things, you just learn by default. And
it's beautiful stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you keep up with the trends? Like what's the latest cut and that kind of thing? Is it just through magazines, or do you
well, social media lately, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's, my Instagram feels like what flipping through a magazine used to feel like. That's kind of where I see what's going on. And again, I have a great team, so they're always keeping, their head on what's current as well, and we just feed off of each other that way. Yeah. But I think luckily, back in the day, there used to be, say, one cut, the Rachel from Friends or the Victoria Beckham. I think these days, we don't always want to walk around having the same haircut as the woman on the sidewalk ahead of you. So it's all about personalizing for each individual, I feel.
Yeah. Is it sometimes a bit challenging for you if somebody comes in and says they want a particular haircut or make me look like that in the magazine, and it's not the right style, maybe for them or even just for their hair, it wouldn't work for them.
And it's just about educating your guest, right? Like, we can do something similar, but because your hair is thicker or finer or a different texture, this is what we could do that would be close, but a little bit more realistic. So it's just about education.
Yeah, it's a really interesting profession because it's very creative.
Yeah.
It's very intimate because obviously people go there because they want to feel better at the end of it. And
I think there's a huge level of trust, because like you said, there's that intimacy. You're sitting within someone's 3-foot circle, and they're putting their hair in your hands. And I've always said your hair is one accessory you can't change. If you're feeling kind of frumpy, you might put on a cozy sweater and feel better. But if your hair is not working for you, there's nothing you can do. So we try to get it right the first time,
How many people love their hair? I mean,
well, even we struggle with it, I can't do my hair the way my team does it for me when I get mine done. So yeah, it's all about angles. If we had an arm growing out the back of our shoulders, maybe it would be easier, but
yeah. You can show me the simplest move in the shop, and when I go home, there's no chance. So I just revert to look easy.
Yeah. Same here though.
Yeah. Well, your hair always looks great.
Thank you.
So what keeps you motivated to do what you're doing? Do you like the business aspect as well of running your own?
Yeah, and that's a huge balance for me. I started, before I went into hair, I started at Mohawk for business administration. I ended up dropping out because it was just far too formal for me. I don't even think I finished my first semester. So I do love that, the business side of things, but to balance things out, I love the creativity in the salon. I also love the relationships we build. The team that I work with, we're all very close. I love hearing what they get up to over the weekend and catching up, but also the clients. Some of my clients have been with me the whole 24 years that I've been working. So
that's something, eh?
Yeah.
And there's a few hairdressers around, like hairstylists around at shops in Dundas, and I suppose everyone offers something a little bit different that fits a particular person.
Absolutely. I used to work in a salon on Lock Street prior to Willow opening, and there was quite a few hair salons then back in the day, but each salon, each stylist has a different approach, a different personality, has a different vibe within the location, and it's all about the right fit. So I feel like there's enough for everybody.
Yeah. So what do you like most about what you do? What's your favorite?
The relationships.
It is it? Yeah.
Yeah. I could tell you, what a client's granddaughter is up to, but I'll forget to get cat litter on the way home. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I love making people feel better. Even if it's just a quick 45-minute visit at the hair salon, I know that they're going to leave feeling a little less stressed and a little more special when they go,
Yeah. And there could be a lot of catching up to do between visits.
Yeah, especially lately.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what else do you do for fun? I know you are or were an avid hockey player.
Oh yeah. I had to give that up though. The hip surgery didn't survive, and then I tried to get back on the ice again recently, and I've been sore ever since. So Actually just donated my hockey equipment to make sure that I don't have the temptation of it anymore, because standing for a living is a bit more important. I have a dog that I adore, so we like to go for a few walks a day. I have very close friendships with my close circle of friends and my family. A little bit harder to see them right now because of COVID. I also love researching wine and visiting wineries and things like that when the weather's nice.
Nice.
But again, it's just all about relationships, family, friends,
Yeah.
and yeah, just making the most of our time off and our time together.
Yeah. You can spend a lot of time in Dundas too with all the other shop owners, can't you? I mean, I'm sure you have.
And you know what? I kind of get caught stuck in the Willow bubble, you know, focusing on work and clients. I rarely get the opportunity to get out and walk around. But when I come into work, especially on a Saturday, I love seeing how vibrant the street is.
It sure is.
I love it.
Yeah, I know. And then I suppose at some point coming up soon, they'll have the horse and buggy out again as usual in the winter.
Yeah, I'm not sure what their plans are this year just because of COVID, but I know the BIA is so great and supportive, and I know they'll do something. So
yeah.
Do
you have any goals in the next year or 5 years or whatever, either personally or professionally?
Personally, I'm working on my house and just kind of giving it a bit of a facelift, so that's been fun. Professionally, honestly, it's just about getting through what 2020 has brought us and keeping the salon safe, not just for myself and my team, but for our guests that come. And then hopefully, as this moves on, we can see where things land and go from there. It's just a little bit tough to plan anything right now, but I just want to just each day as it comes right now.
Yeah. How do you make everyone safe for COVID?
Oh gosh, we have a screening form that has to be filled out prior to arrival. We take your temperature and offer hand sanitizer before you can even come into the area. All of our stations are socially distanced apart. We sanitize everything after each visit so that it's fresh and clean for the next guest. So that's, you know, we sanitize the chair, all of our tools and implements, any work surfaces. And I think we're doing everything we possibly can, and we'll just keep doing it until things change.
Yeah. Everybody's having to adjust, obviously, aren't they? And it will change. It's not like this is it forever, is it?
No, it can't be. Yeah. No. So we've had some great feedback that our guests feel safe and secure here. So we're doing the right thing.
Well, you're lucky you've got a good sized space in there as well.
Very lucky, because I know some other colleagues in the industry have had to shift their teams because their floor plan isn't maybe as adjustable. And so I'm very fortunate that we're all here, but we're just a little more spaced out. I do miss the banter on the floor when we all work a little bit closer together, but big picture, we'll get there again. Yeah,
you do what you have to do right now. Yeah, the last time I saw you, we were in the back room and it wasn't quite the same.
I know.
You just got to do what you got to do.
I know, but it's better than nothing, right? So
absolutely it is. And everybody knows that we're just doing what we have to do.
Yeah.
So is there something, Kim, that very few people know about you that you want to share, or anything, any surprises or secrets? Or
so I had to ask my girlfriends this question when you sent me kind of what to prepare for, because I was stuck. And my sister-in-law, who's one of my closest girlfriends, answered right away. And she said, tell them that you're not a natural redhead.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, it's the product line we work with is beautiful hair choices, and this is the color that I choose. So yeah.
How'd you get that wave in there?
I use a wand. Oh. And yeah.
Is that like a curling iron, the same thing?
Like a curling iron, but without the clamp, and you just kind of wind your hair around it, and yeah.
Well, I better get one of those then.
We'll talk.
Yeah. How'd you get that dimple in there?
Oh, that's genetic.
Lucky you, huh?
Yeah. That's genetic. Yeah.
What are you, a brunette usually? I mean,
yeah, I would be coloring my hair whether I was in the industry or not. From last time I saw enough of it, I think it's just a very boring ashy brown, maybe with the odd gray hair or two coming around.
Yeah. It's not going to get prettier, is it, on its own? Well, good. You've got the technology and the expertise to do it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So anything else you want to share with us before we go, Kim?
Like I said, I'm just very fortunate. I love what I do. I have a great team that works for me, and we work in an amazing community. Dundas is so supportive. So just feeling grateful and thankful to you to have the opportunity to talk and share with people what I love to do.
I think Dundas is great. A lot of people are pretty committed to shopping locally as well, especially now. I
Yeah.
will not shop online personally. I just can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it. And there's lots of places in Dundas you can get gifts or gift certificates or services, whatever the case is.
And they're making it as easy as possible, like curbside pickup, and so it is crucial. And like I said, that support is there, so it's lovely.
And you live in Dundas, is that right?
I don't actually.
Okay.
I live near Lock Street.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. There's lots of parks in the area for my dog and I. And I do like a little bit of space between home and work. I like that 10-minute drive to just kind of listen to some music and just kind of shake the day off and relax.
Sense. Yeah. There's the work-live arrangement where you could, work on the bottom floor and live above in an apartment or something. And I know a hairdresser who does that in Dundas. I don't know if you know her on Main Street, but and anyway, that works for her. It wouldn't work for everybody, but it's kind of a neat alternative. But yours makes sense as well. And you're close to the escarpment, aren't you? You got that beautiful trail on the escarpment.
You can walk up to the radial trail.
And Lock Street's awesome. So that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Kim. I really appreciate it. It was good to see you and good to talk to you.
Yeah, you too.